heading over to the spot, pick you up around 9. Meet me in the parking lot, never make it inside. We're getting out of here tonight. Yeah, we'll go anywhere you like. Yeah, 9/11, it's a heist, stole my heart, gave me life. No, I'm right, baby, I don't get my type wrong, yeah. She 11 with the lights on, yeah. Bite my neck just like a python. Breathe it right into my lungs. I took a hit, it's a crib, she my medicine. Before it's all said and done, a few braces for the neck that's gotta wake you up. I'm heading over to the spot, pick you up around 9. Meet me in the parking lot, never make it inside. We're getting out of here tonight. Yeah, we'll go anywhere you like. I'm breaking, God lights, baby, I'm racing. 'Cause you're the only music I'm facing. You gon' leave my heart sedated, yeah. She just got it, but she wanted. Fell from heaven, she a weapon when she comes for me. I find it comforting. Though I'm blowing, she got me restrained, buffering, yeah. I sold the plans for your demands. I need the spare cash to pay my rent. I'm suffering, still confident, break me loose, stay good news, baby.
It's not a home run, but we have reached the grand slam of it all, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary folks of the internet.
Well done.
Hi, all you BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. To another episode of the All Elite Ensemble, your weekly AEW review show here on the VC WrestlePod Network. We do everything here. I am one of your hosts, Mikey, and joining me this lovely week is we have a trio between me and my other two co-hosts, but the lovely team. It's gonna be a fun one for sure. So I'm happy to have you two here. Yeah, my internet is wonky, you guys. The wrestling guys apparently heard you talk crap earlier, so they're coming for me. But I am happy to have Adolfo and Alice here for the evening. I couldn't do this without you. And this is going to be a fun one.
Yes.
We got lots to talk about.
Yes. Let's get some news out of the way, though.
I'm going to tag Adolfo in. So we're going to we're just going to touch the tip right there, tag in. Boop. All right.
All right. So we have some news. So the big thing that's been going on behind the scenes over at AEW is this Warner Brothers distribution deal. It seems like every day there's been a new thing about it. The most recent update is regarding Rampage, and possibly because of the Warner Brothers deal. And this report is from Forbes magazine through Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer, is that Rampage may not continue as AEW shifts its attention to bigger opportunities. Now, one of the things that has been talked about regarding the new AEW Warner Brother distribution is that they're going to start dipping their toes into the whole streaming services. They might have something set up with Fox and taking the slot that WWE has left open. We know that AEW has trademarked this Shockwave. We don't know if it's a new show or if it's a pay-per-view or what is going on there. But it looks like if the Warner Brother distribution deal goes through, that that Rampage will be on the cutting block and canceled.
My show. I know. But hey, nothing has been confirmed quite yet. In fact, we've been hearing these reports about this Warner Brother deal forever, but we have nothing being said about it. So who knows when Tony is going to decide to announce that. I hope we don't lose Rampage, but with, them filing the trademark for Shockwave, so reportedly, supposedly going to FS1, who knows what's going on with AEW. Something we did get confirmed that's kind of in tandem with this is that all the AEW pay-per-views will be streaming on Max starting in 2025. So that's going to be interesting, which means I'm looking at my wallet. I'm like, all right, I guess I got to pay for another subscription. Or if they're going to continue to use Bleacher Report, I will shell out the money to continue to use Bleacher Report.
Well, I had said this a few weeks back when we were just talking before stream, but if you go on to Max right now, they have a Bleacher Report tab. They've had it for a few months now. So when it popped up, I was wondering when AEW was gonna be popping up in there.
Right. But we shall see what happens with all of this. But Adelpha, I appreciate the news, because speaking of news, a lot of things broke down this past week in AEW land, because literally these were technically the go home shows before tomorrow's Dynamite Grand Slam. Some shows were more successful than others, in my opinion.
Yep.
But what we're going to do this evening is we're going to go through our regular Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision review, overviews, and then we're going to spend some time going over the matches that have been made for Grand Slam Dynamite and Grand Slam Collision, and just kind of give our overall thoughts of where we're going with all of this. But to begin, we're going to start in the land that is AEW Dynamite, and I have to say that I was kind of underwhelmed with Dynamite this week. It was very underwhelming because I maybe had like two matches I ended up liking, and one match, normally I'm not a big finish of DQ finishes, but it served a purpose on Collision, which we'll talk about. But hey, guess what, everyone? We opened Dynamite with an Orange Cassidy match, and I was like, yay, versus Chris Jericho. Boo! So we got this one-on-one match between Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy. And I'm just sitting here. I'm like, please, wrestling gods, let this be the end of this feud. I don't want to do it anymore. Chris Jericho tried to cheat with a bag full of quarters and try to punch Orange Cassidy with it. Orange took the bag of quarters from Chris Jericho through, interference and distraction from the conglomeration, taking on the rest of the learning tree. And Orange took the quarters and punched Chris Jericho across the face with said sack of quarters, which was kind of nice, which allowed Orange Cassidy to pick up the victory. And I'm sitting here like, thank goodness we're done with this feud. And then the learning tree jumps the conglomeration afterwards. And I'm like, we are not done with this feud. Damn it.
Nope. They'll be coming back.
Like, A&A, like, I don't care about this feud. We said this so many times already. I don't even need to go into detail. Care. We don't care. Hopefully, this Tornado Trios match we're getting at Grand Slam is the end of it, and we can all move on with our lives. I have nothing more to say about this match. Like, I didn't want it. I love Orange Cat. But
the only
yeah,
the only thing in relation to this match that I have to say is the conglomeration has their finger in like every pie right now.
they're
Every
everywhere.
single time.
It's
So
ridiculous.
like, yeah, we're good with the learning tree. Let's move on to the next, the premier athletes or whoever.
Yeah,
new
I feel
they
like
want to.
I feel like every
butts with.
time I turn around, someone else is in the conglomeration.
Yeah,
Right? Like, is Hologram in there now? Like,
Yeah,
because he's been teaming up with the conglomeration a lot.
yeah.
Like, I don't know what's happening anymore. I'm just like, if you're gonna keep Mark Briscoe in this faction, please let him give up this ROH championship. Like, he's not even on ROH to defend this thing, and I'm getting kind of sick of it. But I should be used to it by now. But anyways, we're not gonna talk about this more. Orange wins, yay! But they're still looking like this feud is continuing. Boo. And then we get into the most gaslit I have ever felt in my entire life once again. Because they replay the Pac and Claudio thing they'd be like, Wheeler, we had this trios match coming up and we want you to be there. It's like, I'm just like, I have never felt more gaslit in my entire life than watching this, because Pac and Claudio are like, you're a big boy, Wheeler. You can make your decision, but also it would be in your best interest if you showed up, because who knows what would happen if you don't. But you know what? The decision's in your court and we respect whatever you do, but we will not subtly beat the living tar out of you if you do not show up. But we're still going to beat you up even if you show up. And I'm just sitting here. I'm like, I have never felt more gaslit in my entire life. And I was like, I'm not even in the situation. And I'm like, how dare you gaslight me? How dare you gaslight me, Claudio and Pac? I felt icky afterwards. I was like, I don't know if that's how I'm supposed to feel. Good job, AEW? ? Like,
Right.
Poor Wheeler is just going through it, and we'll talk about him later.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We get chapter 2 with Sad Boy Wheeler this week, and I'm kind of rooting for Wheeler. I'm like, I want him to win, and I want him to overcome this struggle. Like, let Wheeler. A random Daniel Garcia comes in to help Wheeler out. Like, that's what I would love.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a wild Daniel Garcia comes into the ring.
Yeah. Dang you, Pac and Claudio. Like, how dare you make me hate you? Anyways, so then we get the shortest match on Dynamite, because we have Hook taking on local talent, JD Inc. And I have never seen more. I was like, I think this is the most tattooed wrestler I have seen, like, in terms of local talent. Because I'm like, I thought about this before I said it, and then I look over at the House of Black. I'm like, never mind. I was like, but I'm like, this man was almost like full, like, blacked out in ink. But of course, Hook wins. This is not even a match. This is like a squash match that lasts for 2 minutes. He beats it up. Roderick Strong's on commentary, because we got to continue building to that match at Grand Slam for the FTW Championship. I'm like, sure, whatever, fine. I would care if Roddy and Hook have had more interaction going into this match, but they've been so kept far apart. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Well, yes. Yeah. I agree with that. However, at least it's Roddy Strong, and it feels like they're trying to do something with the FTW belt. So I'm giving them that,
Are they?
Sure. So, okay. So let's talk about this. Because then backstage, I was just like, not even a week later, we have Private Party. And I'm just like, boys, what are you doing back on my television screen already? And I'm just like, fine, whatever, you're back. We got Private Party backstage. They're coming after, everything. They're like, man, he got beat up, but you know what? We're gonna take it in stride, and we're going to rise above it. I was like, man had his hand broken. What are you talking about? Like, man's had his hand broken last week. What are we talking about, Private Party? Private Party just gets no respect, you guys, and I'm kind of getting sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want them to win. I want them to win something, but, they're just being used as cannon fodder to have Darby to kind of perpetuate this Mox and Darby match happening. So I'm like, whatever, fine. But then we also get another backstage segment after we cut from commercial where Christian Cage is talking about the same thing that we've been talking about with him for the last couple of weeks, where he could cash this thing anytime and anywhere. But I will say the added twist to this is that he made Renee feel so uncomfortable. And I'm just like, poor Renee. Like, she's just out here. I was like, she has to do her job. But then Kip Sabian comes in. So apparently we're not done with that. Between Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian, which I'm like, give me an actual proper feud, because between this and what I saw on Rampage, I want to see more of them two fight it out. Also, Kip Sabian may or may not be my MVP when we get to Rampage. Like, Mans is amazing, and we don't use him. We don't use him all the time. Yes. We need to.
Yes.
Which then leads us into finally, after like 45 minutes, into our second match of the whole evening, which I was looking forward to because this was a women's tag team match where we have Serena Deeb and our AEW Women's World Champion Mariah May team up against Queen Aminata and Yuka Sakazaki. On paper, I was looking forward to this match. And you know what? For the 8 minutes that we got, this was fantastic. And then Mariah caused the DQ. I'm like, damn it, Mariah. And like I said before, normally I do not like DQ finishes, but because of what we get later in the week with Rampage and Collision, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm fine with that. But I was like, damn it, I did not want a DQ. If you're going to give me a DQ, at least give me 12 minutes, because this was the only women's match we had the entire night on Dynamite.
Yeah, weird that it was 8 minutes and then a DQ.
It's kind of weird that you have two women's titles, but you're only having your world champion doing all the work, where our secondary women's title.
Where is Monet?
That's what I'm saying. Like, since, freaking All Out, she has been MIA the last 2 weeks. And I'm like, we had video promos and everything, like recapping it. It's like, I don't care. I was like, I really don't. And Miss Monet, like, I want to love you, girl, but you're not doing yourself any favors with all these interviews you've been doing the last 2 weeks. And I'm just like, you threw Naomi under the bus, which I was about to fight. I was like, girl, you can't be airing out the business. And I'm like, how dare you paint this narrative of talking about, she didn't want to walk out with me because I guess the money was right. I'm like, girl, you came to AEW because you wanted to be the highest paid women's wrestler right now. What are we talking? See, it's really hard because, I try to keep the personal and the character, completely separate because they're not the same. But girl, you got to stop talking on these interviews. You're not painting a good picture for yourself. And it makes me not want to root for you. I was like, you literally got signed to AEW and you literally were given 2 championship belts just because you can. And girl, we have not done anything with these titles. You have taken out some really great competitors who probably should be champion. You beat Willow for the title. You beat Britt. Now, let's be honest, that match at Wembley wasn't necessarily the greatest, but you beat one of the mainstays of the AEW women's roster. You beat Hikaru Shida, the only 3-time AEW women world champion.
Twice.
Yes, and I'm just like, girl, what are we doing? I don't care. But that's besides the point. Back to the match itself. Mariah causes the DQ by hitting with the title belt and then beats up on Yuka Sakazaki afterwards. And I'm just like, and then later that night on social media, we get it confirmed that Yuka, because she got beat up, earned herself a title match at Grand Slam. So I'm like, all right then. So I guess to get a title shot, I just need to have the champion beat me up. That sounds right.
Apparently.
I wasn't mad at the DQ. I was just mad that it was a DQ and this was the only women's match that we got and the only women's segment the whole entire Dynamite. Like, what is happening?
Yep.
Actually, I take that back because as soon as this match is over, we get a really fun and kind of cool promo from Mina Shirakawa, who basically puts Mariah on blast. Is like, girl, I don't know who this Mariah is, but you want me there? I'll be there. So you better be ready because Mina is coming. And I'm just like, you go, Mina Shirakawa. You beat her up. I'm waiting for Mina and Mariah to implode.
Yep.
So then, after AEW just figures out technical problems, because they tried to start this promo not once, not twice, but 3 different times, but we kept having technical issues. At least Taco Bell didn't interrupt this one like it did for Jack Perry a couple weeks ago. But we finally get this really cool video package highlighting the feud between Nigel McGuinness and Bryan Danielson Bryan from their ROH career. And you had like talking heads from Mark Briscoe and Roderick Strong, who also are ROH like big time names as well, who got their big star in Ring of Honor. And I was just like, I don't know why. I shouldn't be excited for this match because I know what the end result's going to be. But why am I excited for this match? Like, I'm actually really excited. And then Collision made me, I was just like, okay, I'm kind of rooting for Nigel. Why? I'm kind of rooting for Nigel in this one.
Yep.
But I thought this was a really well done video package, despite the technical difficulties. It was fantastic. And I'm just like, and then I thought about it. I was like, Nigel McGuinness, why did you retire? Because I never got a definitive answer. And then I found out that he just, at the time, he retired because he couldn't make a full living as a wrestler. It wasn't because of concussions. It wasn't because he was hurt. It's legit. He had to give it up because he couldn't make money during that time, which I was like, that's fair, because unless you were a part of the big federation, you didn't really be making money out here because there was no other alternative. So I'm happy to see Nigel get this shine in AEW, so it's gonna be foxy.
Yeah, I am too. I'm jumping ahead. They on Collision, the end part of Collision was dedicated to Nigel talking about the match, and I'm stoked that they are that they're giving it the time that it needs, and it's gonna be a good match.
I'm excited. And we'll talk about more of Nigel's thing on Collision, because I was like, man, this man's about to cry on my television screen, and I don't know if I'm ready for this. But anyways, so this is how disinterested I was in Dynamite, because everything was all over the place, that I kind of foreshadowed what happened to Private Party earlier in the show. It wasn't last week they got beat up. It's this week they got beat up. There is so much happening in AEW land that everything bleeds together, but I need to correct myself here. Private Party earlier wants to come after the Trios Championships, which I'm like, cool. Then this is where we get Jon Moxley and crew. Private Party try to jump them. I'm like, sirs, you should have came up with backup, because it is 2-on-5. So everybody like Zay and Mark Quinn are getting beat up. Commander tries to... So this is how everything goes. Mox and crew enter. Private Party jump at them and get beat up. Commander gets uppercut by Claudio trying to save, Private Party. Alex Abrahantes gets yeeted into the barricade. Yeah. Like, how dare homeboy? I was like, how dare you? So he gets beat up too. Moxley drags, brother Zay, Isaiah Cassidy, over to the front of the stage where, the metal plating is for the stage and everything. Gets on the mic. Basically puts Private Party on blast. This is like, which made me hurt. I was just like, you guys are in the same position as you were 5 years ago when you entered this company. You are nowhere and you are nothing. I was like, damn, Mox. I was like, we don't need to go that far. Holy shit. Yeah, I was like, Moxley, these are fighting words for me. How dare you? And so he's like, I'm going to give you some encouragement, in which this mofo takes a hammer to Isaiah Cassidy's hand and breaks the thing live on television. And I'm just like, so your form of encouragement is violence. Okay, what in the twisted world is this? I'm like,
it's Jon Moxley. What, did you expect anything different?
I guess. And then I got mad because Darby comes out for the save. I'm like, Darby, we needed you like 3 minutes ago, not now. I'm like, the damage has already been done. And then he chases everyone out the ring with his skateboard, because he almost nailed Moxley in the head when he swung that thing. I was like, that is wild. I was like, Mox, you almost didn't duck in time. You almost got a whole head full of skateboard. And that would not have been great, because Renee would have been mad. But Darby says he's going to kick Mox's ass at Grand Slam. And, he's going to put this all behind it. And I'm just like, Moxley's probably going to win, isn't he? I don't want this. I don't want Mox to be the one to retire Danielson. My only hope is they listen to Danielson's wishes, where he wants a fellow Washington native to retire him in Washington. So have Darby beat him And then, you know, if you want to do shenanigans later, you can, because Swerve is out for who knows how long because he's taking some time off.
Yep.
So let Darby have his moment, man. Like, I think it's time for Darby to finally get a championship run, like a world title championship run. This man has been putting in the work for the last 5 years.
Yes.
Give this man a title run. But again, I am not interested in this whole entire Moxley thing. Like, he's very phoning it in. Poor Private Party. And, you know, I'm looking at Team Melanated over there with Private Party and Commander and Alex Abrahantes. I'm like, Team Melanated got decimated by white people. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, colonizers, what?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm tired of watching melanated folks get beat up by white people. Like, this is not cool for me anymore. I'm tired of that trope. I'm sorry. I'm going on a tangent real quick. We need to stop getting our wrestlers of color beat up by white people. Like, what is happening? Speaking about more white people, Jack Perry cuts a promo, and we get this vignette of him. He's the scapegoat, and he's going to hold an open challenge at Grand Slam for whoever wants to come out and fight him for this TNT championship. I'm like,
yay.
why? Yay.
So exciting.
Right.
But something that did excite me, though, is we got this banger of a match between Ricochet and Beast Mortos. This match was really good, you guys. Like, this was my second favorite match of the whole entire evening. And at this point, it was my favorite match of the evening until we got to our main event. But this match ruled. Beast Mortos was tossing Ricochet and doing lucha libre stuff. Ricochet doing high flying, death defying, like he's got no strings on him. Like, this was a banging match. And Ricochet ended up pulling out the victory, but it was very close. Beast Mortos almost had him for some of it. And it was actually a lot more back and forth than I thought it was going to be. So this was a banger of a match. I'm sad to see Beast lose, but it was very close. So it's like, okay, it wasn't as one-sided as I thought. Then all hell breaks loose because Hangman Adam Page, we have angry Hangman, Hangers.
Yeah.
Hangers comes out. He is angry. Tony Schiavone is in the ring. So once again, in front of the whole entire crowd, you know, Hangman reiterates that he is now on a revenge tour, if you will, and he's going to be taking out anyone and everyone who is supporting Sarah Strickland. And then I was like, okay, there's a couple of names on that list where we can do this for a little bit. I think this might be fun. And then he's like, I'm going to start with this person. And then slowly, like, horror movie turns. And I'm going to start with you, Tony Schiavone, because you were cheering on Swerve this entire time. I'm like, Hangers, what are we doing? And then Hangman puts his hands on Tony Schiavone. I'm like, I was like, no, don't do this. But I cannot believe I'm about to say what I'm going to say next. But thank God Jeff Jarrett came out for the save. Like, holy crap. Like, so Hangman almost put his hands on Tony Schiavone, who was a man of a certain age. And I was like, are we about to witness elder abuse on AEW Dynamite television? I don't know how I feel about this. Now, if it was Nigel, that's one thing. I was like, Nigel can still go. That's fine. Excalibur, fine. Taz gets beat up. That's a bonus for me. Like,
right.
But Tony Schiavone, and we're not done with you, Mr. Tony Schiavone, because we're going to talk about you on Collision, because you almost got these hands again twice in 1 week from another person when we get there. But Jeff Jarrett comes out. He clears the ring. Security tries to separate Hangman and Jeff Jarrett to no avail. And so Jeff Jarrett's like, I don't know how, I don't know when, but if it's the last thing I do in my career, I'm going to kick yo ass. And that is verbatim of what he said. So, spoiler alert, we figure out what that is when we get to Collision or Rampage. Yeah, of what that match is. So, I was so afraid for Tony Schiavone. I'm like, oh my gosh, Hangman's about to lay these hands on Tony Schiavone. And I'm just like, no, not AEW's wrestling uncle. Don't do this, Hangman. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. I
wouldn't have been mad.
No, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Tony has been kind of sassy. Also, Tony Schiavone, I have a bone to pick with you because I didn't talk about it during the match. Since we're talking about you now, we need to stop with the angry black woman narrative because I was getting mad during this match when you were talking about Queen. And then I also got mad at you during Collision too. So we're going to have words, Tony. So then I got disappointed because backstage we get this interaction with Ricochet and Will Ospreay. Because I was like, oh, banger. They're going to keep fighting? Sweet. So then Ricochet is like, you know what, Will? I took your advice and I'm like, I need to make these moves out here. So I went and talked to Tony. So on Title Tuesday, anniversary, 5th year, 5-year anniversary of AEW Dynamite, it's going to be me and you for the AEW International Championship. And I'm just like, why? Why are you doing this so soon? It hasn't even been a month since Ricochet debuted at Wembley. Why are we doing this? Why? You wrote yourself into the corner, AEW, and I'm kind of mad at you. I was like, you don't need like 5-month storytelling, but you could have waited till Wrestle Dream. You could have waited until Full Gear. Like, you have 3 other pay-per-views you could have built this to, but no, you want to put it on television. I understand why, because you're fighting up against NXT CW debut, but that is not an excuse. Because then where do we go from here? If Ricochet loses, not great. If Will loses, not great either. If shenanigans happens and it's a draw, DQ, nobody wins in this situation, AEW. I'm mad at you.
Yeah, it's interesting how they jumped on this so quick, especially when they have Hologram there. They have the aforementioned Kip Sabian, Nick Wayne. There's a lot of talent that they can put up against Ricochet that wrestles and that would pair well with Ricochet. That they really didn't need to jump on to the Will Ospreay versus Ricochet.
Yeah, I think that was a poor choice
thing. Now, having said that, do I feel like this is going to be part 1 of a multi-part thing? Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if they'll do like a best 2 out of 3 type.
Yep.
Which is cool and everything. I just don't think we should have pulled the trigger this soon on that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy. You could have had Will go up against anybody else of equal caliber. Like, run it back with Pac again, like if you want to. But then again, Pac and Claudio and Wheeler have this trios.
Yeah, they're doing their own.
Like, you could have had anybody else, but you know what? That's neither here nor there. But Will Ospreay can't think about it too much because he is involved in our main event this week on Dynamite. It is a trios match where we have Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher, and Konosuke Takeshita taking on the Elite, which is the Young Bucks and the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. This was my match of the night for Dynamite. I thought everyone brought it. Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita are like the MVPs this match. I am so ready because in this match they continue to tease Okada and Takeshita, and I'm just like, excuse my French, we're far enough into this. Fuck Sammy Guevara. Have Takeshita go up against it for this title. Sammy, I love you. You hold a special place in my heart, but I want to see this Takeshita and Okada feud. Like, this is what we are here for. Because apparently Hangman and Okada is not going to be a thing like we thought it was going to be. Because now Hangman's on the revenge tour, which is a shame. But hey, Takeshita versus Okada is money, and I'm here for it. This is a banging match. Even though Takeshita is kind of a heel, the face team wins because Will and Kyle and Takeshita pick up the victory here, with Kyle getting the victory for the team, which makes me think he's getting pinned on tomorrow night. But the Elite were not happy. Okada was PO'd. And, Will and Kyle were celebrating. They were trying to celebrate with Takeshita, but Takeshita was not willing to shake Will's hand. And so I'm like, that's the match you could have happened. Instead of Ricochet, Takeshita versus Will part 2 would have been fantastic. Because the last time they interacted, Will was not a champion.
Yep.
Anyway, so that has been your Dynamite report for this week. Overall, I thought it was very meh. A lot of it made me mad, and I had questions about it. And it just felt very thinly put together. Just like, okay, who do we have? What can we do? You. I know I'm biased because I love me some Collision, but again, for me, Collision did better this week, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So I am going to tag in by doing just the tip to my Rampage correspondent. So Alice, it is now your turn. The floor is yours. Tell us what kicked off Rampage this week.
All right. Rampage, September 20th. We opened with a Mark Briscoe and Brian Keith match. Very exciting.
Remember that rivalry that we wanted to end? Didn't
Yeah.
it?
Didn't end.
Okay, but like this is probably Brian Keith's best match since he's been in AEW. This was actually a really great match.
Oh yes. This was a great match. I love Brian Keith. I think he's a great wrestler. I think he's super underrated. I think he's underutilized. And I want to see him get a push. I want to see him do something. But that is unfortunately not going to happen while he's associated with the Learning Tree, which is a bummer. But I think he's great. This was a really fun opening match. I really liked this match. Mark Briscoe is like a high energy, wild kind of guy, and they just their styles really meshed really well, I thought.
Yeah, shout out to those chops. Cause damn.
Brutal.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah. What's this, Tiger Driver?
Yeah, so after they had like a little Tiger Driver battle, where each was trying to get into each other in a Tiger Driver, we finally get Mark Briscoe gets the Tiger Driver in.
Oh, another thing I was noticing during this match is that like Brian Keith is really pulling heat from the crowd.
Yes.
Right? They hate him, and that is awesome. I mean, like you want to get that kind of reaction when you're a heel. So it was really fun to see him kind of like drinking that in and sort of encouraging that from the crowd.
Yep.
So for me, even though Mark Briscoe came away with the win, this really put Brian Keith over for me. Like this was a great match for him.
Yep. However, that wasn't the end of the match.
That's right, because the feud that won't end, right? Chris Jericho came out and he was gonna all fight Mark Briscoe, and then Orange Cassidy came out, and then Large William, and then Kyle O'Reilly. There was just a big kerfuffle in there.
And Large William ends up choke slamming Kyle O'Reilly, and that's it.
Well, and then this sets up for what we're getting on Dynamite on Collision Grand Slam, which is this Texas Tornado Trios match between Conglomeration and Learning Tree. So I'm like, please let this be the end of it.
That would be great. It would be fine if that were the end. I don't need this. It's like a 7-year-old argument about this dang jacket,
which is weak at best.
Right. I mean, I know we're kind of past the jacket because he gave the $7,000 back in coins, but now we're mad about the coins, and I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, it's
fine. This feud didn't need to happen. Anyway, there were other options. Okay. Next we had Wheeler Yuta versus the Butcher.
The Winter Soldier Wheeler Yuta.
No.
Yeah.
There was no you can't do that because the Winter Soldier has the same activation code word every time.
Words. He has code words, and that's what happened this match.
But it wasn't the same one. Anyway.
I agree with Alice.
Yuta is Sad Boy, right? This is Sad Boy Wheeler Yuta Part 2.
Yep.
Right? What?
In my mind's eye, I see him coming down the ramp.
Yeah,
and he's just all sad.
He's fighting. He's not really giving his best. And then Butcher calls Wheeler Yuta weak. Several times, actually.
I was like, Grandpa Butcher, that was not the correct thing to do.
No. So then, Dark Wheeler Yuta is activated, right?
The heartless / nobody version of Wheeler Yuta gets activated. Oh, Wheeler Yuta. He went from listening. Well, go for it, Alice.
Yeah, this was good fun. After being called like a weak prick, it sounded like what he said. He just went bananas, right?
Go mode activate.
Right. He really and then held him in that cool submission hold that we've seen.
Yep.
We saw him do last time also.
It's
That
really cool.
the Butcher has a tap out for. Very cool.
But then, like at the end of the match, when he gets his belt back, he looks all sad again.
He goes
He
back
just
up the ramp.
realized what he did, I guess. I don't know.
That's why to me he's now the Winter Soldier.
But there's some great like storytelling happening with Wheeler.
There is.
Yuta.
Okay.
Really
it's fun watching this thing with Wheeler Yuta, like going down and up the ramp after he's back and being sad boy. It's literally him listening, "Don't waste your time, mommy." Like, and then just full on once he gets in, it's just like, oh, it's on like Donkey Kong. It is crazy. I love Wheeler.
Yeah.
I love what we're doing in here, and I'm kind of rooting for him because I am not here for gaslighting Pac and Claudio.
No. But I am excited to see what will happen with the trios match with the three of them together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm really looking forward to that storytelling. But we'll get there this week, I guess, right? Yeah. Next we had an MXM spot, which this was so much fun. They were calling out the Acclaimed. And then they pulled up Max Caster's jacket. And they're gonna give it a makeover, and I can't wait. I want to see this fight. I want to see the makeover jacket. This spot was so short, and it
but
just
so impactful.
Was so
impactful.
I'm just happy because we continue to find ways to let MXM just do their thing, and it's just so the crowd loves them, just like they love the Outrunners too. Like, and I feel like. Honestly, Tony Khan, come here real quick. Like, let's talk about this for like 5 seconds, right? You literally have a gold mine with MXM and Outrunners. Like how quickly they've gotten over with the crowd. It's really hard to hate them. If we know you signed MXM Collection, we haven't gotten an official graphic for Outrunners, but we're assuming they're signed because they've been here in ROH and for AEW for the last year. When I tell you, you better capitalize on these two teams because they bring something to this tag team division that has been needed for a very long time. Like, please do not ruin this for us because I'm also happy that the Acclaimed is getting used because we haven't really seen them since losing at Wembley, but now we're putting them back into this, which on the one hand makes me sad because I wish they would go after the Bucks for the titles. But if it keeps them on my television screen, then I'm okay with this. And this is a fine transitional feud between the two. If it eventually leads to them going back for the tag titles at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I feel especially after that, like that, as we were calling them, the Dark Acclaimed turn that they had after Blood and Guts. I feel that this is a good, light-hearted rivalry thing to get them back in, you know.
Excited.
This was such a good segment. What happened next?
Then we had Harley Cameron accompanied by Saraya versus Hikaru Shida. This was exciting. Again, sometimes Harley Cameron, I think, gets really involved in the bit and the shtick that we kind of forget that she can actually wrestle. This was a match where she was like, surprise, remember, I'm an athlete. You know, so that was fun. I always love Hikaru Shida's work in the ring. She is fantastic. I love her so much. So this was really fun. So, and it kind of like you didn't really know who was going to win there for a second. You know, I really thought maybe Harley would come away with the win. But Jamie Hayter shows up to keep Saraya from interfering, and Hikaru Shida ends up with the pin. So, and it kind of looked like Jamie Hayter and Hikaru Shida were on like the same side. And then we got some movement forward with the Jamie Hayter Saraya storyline. Saraya said, we're gonna do a Saraya's rules match in New York, and Jamie accepted. So yeah.
I miss Jamie Hayter. This is gonna be fun.
I like her a lot. She's brand new to me, but definitely enjoying what she's been putting out so far. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her in the ring, because I believe the fight with Saraya will be, well, we saw one of her matches, right? But this will be like her big return match.
This will be her first real match, because
she
came back, she had a spot.
She had like a spot, but
Yeah.
this will be like her first match back, and I'm really excited for that.
Yep.
And then next we had our main event.
It was the main event,
right?
Yeah.
We had a 4-way match.
Well, no. It was first.
Your notes are terrible.
What are you talking about? This the Beast Models and Roddy Strong.
Put him on blast, Alice.
I will. That's ridiculous.
Yes.
All right. So we have Frank Mortos, attorney at law.
Well, no, that is the apparently there's a AKA. People think that the Beast Mortos has a life outside of wrestling, which is not true. Wait, what was that? What was that? Oh, I'm sorry. I think that we actually have a live photo right there of Frank Mortos, attorney at law. See him in his splendor with his glasses, his tie, and his briefcase. Roar, grumble, roar. Frank Mortos, attorney at law. Thank you very much.
I would trust him to represent me.
Yeah, right.
All right. So
all that
so it's the Beast Mortos and Roddy Strong.
Oh my gosh.
Versus,
you're gonna have to read this.
Why?
I can't read that.
So it's the Beast Mortos and Roddy Strong versus Joey Keys and Marcus.
You couldn't even read it.
Yeah.
But it was a squash match. Like, that's the best way to describe it.
What more do we
It
need
was
to know?
It was less than 2 minutes. There were 4 names. What am I supposed to do? It was like 2 minutes, but I do agree with your note here that the Beast Mortos and Roddy Strong worked really well together.
Yes.
Almost like unnervingly so.
Yes. As far as squash matches go, this was a very entertaining squash match.
Yeah. I definitely think I'm so excited that we've been seeing Beast Mortos more and more and more. I'm just wondering if they're gonna attach him sort of permanently to a group or not, or if they're just gonna keep putting him in when they need some extra flair. I don't know. And then we got a new spot with Deanna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie, which was very exciting to me. I'm so excited for these two women to be together. I'm like, part of me wants a women's tag team thing to happen, but I think it may just be a new faction. But I want a women's tag team division.
I mean,
I would not be mad at that.
We've seen women like be kind of like weird established tag teams. I don't know how it'll work now, because like right now, Chris and Willow were a team and they feuded and now they're not together. The Bunny is no longer in AEW because her and Anna Jay were great. Ruby Soho is out currently being preggers. So I'm just like, can I just say one thing? Like, combining this with Collision, I'm like, is Deanna going for like a Godfather figure? Because I'm kind of here for this. Because every time she has a glass of wine, there's like a candelabra in the background. Like, ma'am, you are from Jersey, so like, what in the Mob Wives is this?
Right? She's offering protection to people.
For some reason, but it works though. And Taya is such a perfect fit for this too.
Yes, I agree.
So I love Taya as a singles wrestler, but Taya has always been amazing when she's part of some sort of faction. So I'm just like, I'm here for this team of Taya and Deanna, especially if that means that we get to use them more on television, which, you know,
Yeah.
I'm here for more women on my screen. And when we get to Collision, Deanna's first feud now has me super excited. I cannot wait.
Yep.
Now we come to the
Now is the main event.
four-man main event match.
This match
Oh, that's
rolled.
right. I was mad about this
You
one.
were mad about this.
I was mad about this one. We have the Patriarchs, Nick Wayne, yay, versus Lio Rush, Rocky Romero, Azúcar, versus Kip Sabian. His name is Kip, and his job is wrestling.
Wait, no. Rocky Romero is in America, so it's not Azúcar. It's Azúcar Rocky Romero, because he has to be boring because he's on U.S. television.
Adolfo,
Okay.
I am Team Melanin over here. I will say it how I wish. Tony Schiavone is white, and so is the rest of the commentary team. Do you really expect them to know how to pronounce these things?
Well, no, but even Rocky Romero, look at the video from him over in CMLL, and look at the video of him in AEW, and tell me it's not a complete different paradigm shift.
There was a fun segment of him in this match where he was like running around getting everybody, and they're like, he's on limitless energy, and I was like, this is like 50% of what he does.
Seriously, I was like, y'all need to calm down. I'm like, you know this man can go. Don't lie.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sorry.
This match was good. I liked this match. I thought Lio Rush did a great job. I love seeing him on my TV screen. I'm glad that we get to see more of him. Unfortunately, the win did go to Nick Wayne, but I think they're really pushing him right now, which is fine. It's just not for me. It did feel like he stole the win from Kip Sabian, because Kip Sabian did land the finishing blow, if you will, and then he took the pin. So, and after that, we also got like a standoff between Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. So, like you were talking about in Dynamite, Mikey, we are probably going to see some more feuding between the two of them. And I'm not mad about that. I just want it to be more well established, right? Like, I want there to be a genuine feud. Give Nick Wayne his singles push. Let him feud with Kip, and give it some time that it deserves.
Yeah. One thing I liked about this is that the win that Nick Wayne got felt very Christian Cage inspired.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and with him with the whole patriarchy thing, Christian Cage supposedly, you know, he is now Christian Cage's son, and Christian Cage is showing him the ropes and how to do things. I thought it was well played that Nick Wayne got this win in this very Christian Cage underhanded method, you know? Not that I
don't need more Christian Cage on my TV screen.
Not right now, anyways.
I mean,
I don't like that.
No.
I don't like Nick Wayne.
Not like while he has his contract. But Alice, I do want to bring up something that you said, and I agree with it. I would love to see a Nick and Kip Sabian feud, but it needs to be more well established, because we thought we were getting something, and then Nick beat Kip, and then we didn't see anybody. We didn't see either one of them for like weeks, and then all of a sudden we brought it back. Like, I'm like, was there something that went down that we're not privy to? Because let's give this an established feud. You can still have Nick be part of the patriarchy, but I think Nick has well-deserved kind of like to go out on his own, if you will. Shoot, if you want him, have Killosaurus in the background be like his bodyguard, accompany him. Christian's like, you need to take care of my son, because if you don't, we gonna have words. And then you can continue to build the discord between Killosaurus and Christian. And when that turn is going to be amazing. Plus, I want to see more Kip Sabian. I think Kip Sabian is very underutilized and underrated in AEW, and he is a fantastic wrestler. Like
He
he
is.
is so charismatic. I love him. Plus, you know, that accent. I'm like, ooh.
All right.
Cool. So now we're going to tag in. We are going to move on to the final section before we talk about Grand Slam. Adolfo is going to lead us through our collision portion of the
Which
review.
we start collision with the ROH Tag Team Championship.
Another match that should have been on ROH.
On ROH.
And it should have been, but it wasn't. So here we are. It was the Bunkhouse Brawl with Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes versus the Undisputed Kingdoms, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. This was a great opener.
Sammy Guevara is just killing himself out here. Like,
yeah.
Doing the same moves that gave him a concussion like 6 months ago.
Yeah, we had tasers. Yeah. We had tasers. We had people being put through barbed wire tables. We had Sammy Guevara being put through tables from the top of ladders.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. There's like 4 tables.
Sammy Guevara moonsaulting into Mike Bennett through a table. We had a bull rope. We had a cowbell. But
most importantly, Dustin Rhodes had his dad's belt buckle.
Yes.
Less than 2 minutes in, blood. Yeah. Already.
I was like, Dustin's about to bleed. Somebody's about to bleed in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had Sammy Guevara with a swanton off the top of a ladder onto Mike Bennett, and Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes wins.
By the way, we now have now we have an official tag team name because they were introduced as the Sons of Texas. I'm like, y'all couldn't have come up with something better. All right, fine, whatever. You could have like the Sons of Texas, it's fine, but you could have combined like their monikers because Dustin being the Natural Nightmare, Sammy Guevara the Spanish God. Like we could have did something fun there. But Sons of Texas work. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised that Sammy and Dustin did win this one because I thought, oh, you know what? They were probably gonna give the tag team titles back to the Undisputed Kingdom, but we did not. So as much as I'm happy to see them continue to run with these tag team titles, again, it's probably not going to happen, and this is a different conversation for a different show, but I want them to show up more on ROH and defend those things because there's a whole tag team. Yep. There's a tag team division in ROH that I feel like deserves to go a shot at these. Like you have the Infantry, you have, even the Outrunners if you want to. Like, let's just do it. It'd be fun. But this was a fun way to open this. I laughed so hard when Matt Taven and Mike Bennett went for a ride when Dustin grabbed those nut sacks and threw him. I was like,
yeah. We had that going on. There was a lot that happened in this match.
Shout out to the Undisputed Kingdom because they are down for anything and everything half the time. They're just so good as a tag team. I love them.
They really are. So this brings us to a Lexi Nair backstage spot where we had Mark Briscoe and Hologram and Kyle O'Reilly. And as soon as they start talking, the premier athletes show up. And I quote Mark Briscoe, even in the midst of these scallywags, I see one shenaniganator.
It's shenanigator. Thank you very much.
So in the match, because Briscoe, Hologram, Kyle O'Reilly were facing off against the premier athletes later that night. So to have Shenanigator insurance, they called in Asuka Rocky Romero to be the anti-Shenanigator, the Asuka Raider.
That was so stupid. It was so stupid.
But he's not the one who said Asuka Raider. Rocky Romero said himself. He's like, you know what we have for a Shenanigator? Rocky Romero shows up, the Asuka Raider. I'm like, oh my god.
See, I know we just talked about on Rampage that we were kind of sad to see the Americanized version of Rocky Romero, but this is one of those few moments where I was like, I kind of like the Americanized version of Rocky Romero because he doesn't take himself too seriously. It's flipping hilarious, and I loved it so much.
Yep. this was a fun quick spot, to hype up the upcoming match. We went to commercial, and then we come back with a very mysterious AEW 5th anniversary on October 2nd, 2024. DMD.
She gonna have a match. We don't know against who.
It would be fine if she didn't.
Poor Britt. Like, she can't catch a break right now.
Next, we cut over to Lexi Nair with Evil Uno. And Darby Allin comes in. And I quote, "We're going to have a fight. War is coming." So yeah, Darby Allin was hyping up Evil Uno. Gaslighting, a little gaslighting, kind of along the lines of,
Claudio
you've
and
stagnated. You've stagnated and you need to be pushed to be better. So going along,
pulling out Malachi lines. What is that?
I know,
right? That's weird.
That's Malachi Black.
That's what he said.
I'm just saying,
yeah.
Malachi Black moves.
I did not hate this backstage segment, and it did make me enjoy what we would get later in the evening. I just thought that it was paced weirdly because there were some really weird pauses. Yes. But I did like what I saw because Darby ain't playing no games with nobody right now. I'm like, this is the Darby I need to see all the time. He's just like, I'm just here to kick ass, and that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
Bless you.
So this brings us to our next match, which is Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly of the Conglomeration with the Asuka Raider, Asuka Rocky Romero.
The subsidiary of Conglomeration.
Right?
Which is
the honorary Conglomeration hologram.
Who is it in this group now?
The Shenaniganator team of the premier athletes. The only, because again, I feel like this is a match that we've gotten a few times already. Kyle O'Reilly and Hologram have a very good synergy amongst them. I really dig it. Yet again, we had, like, right before going to commercial, we had the spot where Kyle O'Reilly gets tossed out of the ring and then lumped up by the bad guys. And then we come back from commercial and Kyle O'Reilly is like in a fight for his life, which felt very similar to what happened last week as well.
And the week before. Kyle O'Reilly is basically the Conglomeration's version of a piñata. Like, every time he gets thrown in or out of the ring, everyone's beating him with the stick to get the candy out of him. He is the unmelanated version of a piñata. Like, poor Kyle O'Reilly. This man is getting beat up, but he's having the time of his life by being so unserious with Mark Briscoe's shenanigans.
Yes. Yeah. In the end, Mark Briscoe does get the pin for the Conglomeration Asuka Raider hologram team. So, wrestling wise, it was a good match. Again, though, it shared a lot of the same beats as last week's Conglomeration Kyle O'Reilly Mark Briscoe hologram match. So we're good, AEW. Like, let's do something else.
Pump the brakes.
Yeah.
Because between this and the learning tree, like, we need to start having them feud with somebody else.
Yep. So next we have the MXM collection. And they gave Max Caster's jacket a makeover. Oh yes. Did you want to see it?
Yeah.
Do you want to see it?
I do.
Do you want to unzip it and see it? Well, you're not going to get it. Because it's coming at the Grand Slam finale to New York Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Where the jacket will be the star.
This is the most exciting thing that I'm looking forward to for Grand Slam. No cap. Like, honestly. I love MXM collection so much.
It was so
they
good.
Are such a breath of fresh air. And I don't care what anyone says. I love me goofy, silly wrestling. And these two have found their niche, but they're also fantastic in the ring. I love it so much. This was great.
Yes, they really are.
Yep. Next, we had an eliminator match for the women's championship, pitting the Glamour Mariah May versus Lady Frost,
who we have not seen in a hot minute.
No, we have not.
At least on
No hit.
AEW television.
And I'm kind of upset about this match because it starts off great energy, good back and forth between Lady Frost and Mariah May, and then all of a sudden Mariah May hits the Storm Zero 1, 2, 3. Done. I was like, couldn't have let it go just a little bit longer? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I feel
know?
you, but I feel like there were some compromises here because as much as I love Lady Frost, realistically, we knew she wasn't going to win this match,
Yep.
unfortunately. And I wonder if there was some compromises because the other women's match that we got this evening actually got a lot of time, more than I was expecting and what I'm used to.
That's fair.
I'm wondering if we made some compromise that we got. Collision is doing the Lord's work of wrestling because not only did we get 2 women's matches, but we also got like women's backstage segments too.
Right.
Dynamite, you failed this week. You failed your women. I'm just putting it out there. Anyways, Adolfo, like I love this match, but I agree with you. It kind of felt rushed at the end, and like the win came out of nowhere, which is unfortunate because we could have got maybe like 2 or 3 minutes more because Lady Frost is so flipping good. But so is Mariah.
That's all I want. I didn't need like a 30-minute epic. I just wanted like 2 or 3 minutes more.
We could have gotten like a 12, 13-minute match instead of like a 9-minute match. Like that would have been great.
Yeah. However, this did lead us to a Mariah May, Yuka Sakazaki video package.
Yes.
Which it's weird because the way this video package played, it made it seem like this rivalry has been going on for a long time, when in reality it's only been maybe 2 weeks that this has been going. So that was very interesting. And then we got another woman's spot where we got Willow Nightingale and Lexi Nair.
Yes.
And our godmother Deonna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie come in. And one of the things that Willow Nightingale was saying how she's happy for Yuka, that Yuka's her friend. And then Deonna comes in and is like, well, you weren't there for Yuka on Wednesday. And then even offered protection to Yuka Sakazaki. However, this upcoming week on Rampage, which is not a Grand Slam Rampage,
unless they change it, who knows?
We are going to be getting Taya Valkyrie versus Willow Nightingale. So, boom.
That'll be fun.
I am so excited. Like I said during the Dynamite portion, the fact that we are possibly getting Deonna feuding with Willow next makes me super excited because, again, we kind of put to bed the Chris Statlander Willow Nightingale feud that we've had for the last couple months, and honestly, that's probably been the outside of Tony and Mariah, it's probably been the best feud that we've gotten in AEW so far this year. And this could potentially be a really great feud if you wanted to have Willow and Deonna feud until the very end of the year. Like, I think cap off Willow having a great year, having a really fun feud with Chris, and then a really fun feud with Deonna. And then it also gives Deonna and Taya something to do because we haven't really seen much of Deonna after her feud with Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
Yes. And I, for one, am very interested to see this whole direction that Deonna Purrazzo is taking. Is she going to like have more people? Is she going to be that like stereotypical Hollywood mafia thing where like gives a protection racket type thing? You know, it's cool.
She recruits the Renegades to help her. I would love that.
Yeah,
that'd be fantastic.
Definitely. So then this leads us to the Acclaimed and their shoot back to the MXM collection, where we get a Max Caster rap and Anthony Bowen telling MXM that it's time for them to nut up or shut up. So again, I'm excited to see this match versus MXM and
I am too. I think this is going to be a fun feud. It's going to be ridiculous, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Next we got a John Moxley, Darby Allin video spot, kind of going over that, which led us to the Darby Allin versus Evil Uno match. Evil Uno in this match came out really hot. He had Alex Reynolds at ringside. turned into a bit of a slobber knocker between the two, which definitely was cool. Darby Allin does come out with a win. I mean, he's got the big match coming up this week, so yeah, he's going to get the win here.
But I will say, I think this is the strongest that we've seen Evil Uno in the last couple months, in my opinion. Like this is the Evil Uno I need to see all the time in AEW, because that's how he was before when Dark Order was first in AEW and they were an actual credible threat. This is the Evil Uno I need to see, and if that means that Darby had to push him to get there, I'm here for it. And you know, Evil Uno and Darby teaming up, like Darby and Dark Order teaming up, I wouldn't be mad at that. Shoot, Darby and the Dark Order take on Mox and crew. That I think that'd be kind of fun.
That totally would. But yeah, it was good. It was fun to see that side of Evil Uno come out. So this brought us to the aforementioned Hangman Adam Page spot where he threatened Tony Schiavone, which then leads us to Jeff Jarrett with Renee Paquette. And did anyone have Double J Jeff Jarrett becoming the champion for the people in 2024 on their bingo card?
That was not on my bingo card, but Renee and Jeff Jarrett's wife were trying their best because Jeff Jarrett kept smacking that wall with the strap. I was like,
yep,
sir, this is some BDSM typeness. What is about to go down? What is about to come out of your mouth?
Well, let me tell you what's going down, because he challenged Hangman Adam Page to a lumberjack strap match.
Oh,
I believe Wednesday. Or is it for the Grand Slam Collision?
You know what? We will reveal that information in a little bit. But it is happening during Grand Slam. Yep.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yep. So
kinky.
for those that don't know the rules for the lumberjack strap match, is that the Hangman Adam Page and Double J Jeff Jarrett will be in the ring. 8 other wrestlers will be outside. They will all have leather straps. And when one of the wrestlers that's in the ring gets thrown out, they will be beat with the leather straps until they get back in the ring.
It's kind of like the match between Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa.
Yes.
Just with added straps.
Just with straps.
That's,
More
strap.
They didn't have straps. So
that was a different match.
So here's my biggest issue with this, right? It makes total sense because of what happened on Dynamite. You're setting this up. But then when Jeff Jarrett started to go down the list of the people that are going to be there on ringside, he was alluding to the fact that all these people hate Hangman. But then he was alluding to everybody, and I was like, I feel that most of these people do not really have an issue with Hangman, and they're kind of loosely connected. It's basically Jeff Jarrett trying to sell. These are the people who are going to be available for this match. Because if we were truly going to go there, you should have Dark Order out there because they have a connection with Hangman. The Elite would be out there, but since they all got their own matches hanging up, like that was something. Prince Nana could come out and attack Hangman, which would be kind of crazy. But, you know, he's not going to. That'd be kind of crazy. But, yeah, I'm just like, Top Flight? Really? I'm like, okay, sure, fine, whatever.
Right?
I mean, we'll see who is available because they also might just throw up a bunch of ROH talent on there too. Like, who knows?
Yep. So this does bring us to our Queen Aminata Serena Deeb match. This match, y'all, this match.
My match of the night.
You need to go and watch it. Because they let this match play out.
20 minutes, Alice. 20 minutes between Queen and Serena. Yeah. They went through 3 commercial breaks. Well, 3 commercial / picture-in-picture breaks.
Yep.
This, you want to talk about slobber knocker? These girls were killing each other with stiff arm shots. And Aminata's headbutt is the thing of beauty to watch because Serena sold that beautifully. Oh my God, this was my favorite match of Collision. And honestly, out of everything that I watched last week, this match was my favorite match of the whole entire week.
And it showed a different side of Queen Aminata because we are so used to the explosive power Queen Aminata. We saw technical wrestler Queen Aminata. How about them apples?
they won't let her get the title, but eventually I would love Queen to dethrone Mercedes and Queen hold on to that TBS championship.
That would be, yes. Yep.
Girl is ready.
Yeah. And I mean, Serena Deeb looked great. You know, every submission move she put on Queen Amina just looked painful. It looked, you know, well thought out, well calculated, very much ring general, very, very well done, Serena Deeb. I do just want to throw in here, as I was watching this match, and then I thought, thinking back to other Queen Aminata matches, she has had so much improvement, like visual improvement in her matches, that it was nice to see. And I want to just acknowledge that that Queen has just, she's come into her own. She's, you know, been learning the business, and like just every week improving, and it's great. It was great.
Is the match going to change my mind about the Aminata Deeb feud?
I'm going to be honest with you, Alice, because I'm not in the business of lying here. Now, for the overall feud, probably not.
Yeah.
But is this a development in the right direction? I actually think so.
Yes.
I think, because my biggest issue leading into this is we know Queen and Serena are both good in the ring. It's just that the last time we've kind of kept them apart, and then we teamed them up with Mariah and Yuka, which kind of set up for what's happening with those two for Grand Slam. But this has been a storyline, and I'm hoping this is not the end of this, because even though Serena did pick up the victory, and she is, and you know, I'm gonna wait, because she challenges a certain somebody to the 5th anniversary of Dynamite later in the evening. So I'm gonna leave that to Adolfo, but definitely outside of all that, Alice, this is definitely worth a watch, though. This match actually was great, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I think it is in my top 5 of women's matches this year for AEW, and it may show up at the end of the year list. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Next, we got a quick video package, just recapping Hikaru Shida and Harley Cameron's match on Rampage, and Jamie Hayter coming in for the to stop Saraya with the interference, which then leads us to Harley Cameron and Saraya backstage with Renee, and we get the readings of the Saraya's rules match.
This was so stupid, but like in the best way possible.
So it's pretty much, unless you're Saraya, everything is against the rules. But Saraya can do anything.
It's literally
and rule number 9, most importantly, Jamie Hayter's a slag.
When she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, she said that on television. I was like, what is happening? But yeah, basically, Alice, the way Adolfo is correct. Basically, the way this match is going to work at Grand Slam is that Saraya can do anything, and Jamie Hayter has to follow the regular rules of the wrestling match.
Yeah,
which is going to be interesting. Oh, and the winner, Adolfo, we forgot to mention, the winner of this match gets a free autographed copy of Saraya's memoir.
Yeah, of Saraya's upcoming memoirs. Yep.
Pre-order now. And then Harley Cameron proceeds to eat the rules, which was hilarious to watch.
You know what? Harley Cameron
commits to the bit.
Harley Cameron, when you were first on my TV, I did not think much of you.
Remember, she was the rap video girl.
A complete about face. Harley Cameron, you have my respect. You have not only has your wrestling improved, just like from match to match, but also, you commit to this bit. You commit to every bit you play. You're there. You're in there. And I'm just, you know what? I salute you. Thank you for your work, Harley Cameron. Thank you for your work.
We love you, Harley. You are fantastic, girl. We love you so much.
Then we get Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara with Lexi Nair. Sammy Guevara challenging one Okada for a piece of gold coming up. So that'll be fun.
An eliminator match.
Yep. And then this leads us to our main event match, which was Hook, the Outrunners, and FTR, which I believe they're calling themselves the FT Runners now.
The FTR. Okay. Let's get through who else was on the other team, because I'm gonna get on my soapbox a little bit, because I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but FTR are like the biggest allies right now in wrestling.
Right. And they faced off against the grizzled young veterans, Roosh, the Beast Mortos, or Frank Mortos, attorney at law. Thank you. Or
we love it.
And Roderick Strong. That was the other side of the of that match. Of that.
This is a lot of meat in the ring. This is a lot
of
bodies.
Yeah. FTR as the allies. I mean, okay,
you cannot tell me. So I can say this because I'm part of the community, but FTR, come here. I know it's a running joke here, BC WrestlePod, that Cash and Dax, specifically Dax, you are one bearskin rung away from being AEW's Burt Reynolds here. And both of you, Cash and Dax, you are just one in front, not in front of my salad meme away from, just craziness. Because listen, you guys, I don't know what happened, but thick lies do save lives here. When I tell you FTR, this is the gayest you have ever looked on my television screen, and we're loving it. I was just like, yes, embrace your queerness. Embrace your queerness. We are here for this. And I'm just like, okay, I can't hate FTR anymore. Like, I really can't. Maybe I'm tired of them being booked for everything, but they are literally like Dax was literally wearing a crop top. It was the best thing on the planet. And then Cash was also sporting the crop top, but he took it a step further because he cut it at the bottom and he had strips like tied into knots at the belt like a belly shirt. And I'm just like,
yep.
It's so funny when you see FTR in this getup, the Outrunners, and then Hook in a juxtaposition. That is the most hilarious shit I have seen on AEW.
Frumpy little brother.
Hey, but you know what? Hook is the quiet ally because
fair, yeah.
He's a full supporter, but he's gonna beat people up who are homophobic. So it's just like,
right.
I love this so much. Now, this was fun. This was not match of the night. Like I said, Queen and Serena Deeb took that for me, but I still thought this was a lot of fun. Dax got pinned, which is crazy because literally last week I was complaining that FTR didn't get pinned a lot, but it was a clean pin too, which was crazy.
Roosh pins Dax cleanly. Yeah, nuts.
I'm kind of happy to see Roosh take the pin because I was like, let's do something with Roosh now, you guys. Like, come on now, it's time.
Yes. Yeah.
And like for real, do something with Roosh.
Yeah. And then after that, Nigel McGuinness had a spot where
Before we get to that, though,
go ahead.
So literally, I was like, oh yeah, this is a fun main event. Why do we have 8 minutes still left on the show? Like, what is about to happen?
Right.
But before all that, this is where we go backstage with Serena, and this is where she calls someone out to face her at Title Tuesday for AEW 5th anniversary. And so it seems we're going to be getting the Professor versus Miss Britt Baker DMD at the anniversary show.
Okay.
So, will that be cool? Hopefully.
Yeah, I was going to say hopefully.
I just need a win for Britt, not like a physical win. I like a metaphorical win because girl cannot catch a break. She got suspended in her feud leading into Wembley. That match at Wembley is like my least favorite women's match of the year so far. And I've seen a lot of crappy women's matches this year across all the feds. I just want her to have a metaphorical win and kind of get her back on the upswing because I think Britt definitely is a cornerstone of this women's roster. It's just that whether her own doing or other things that are happening backstage or in her personal life, I want to see this girl finally be on the upswing of everything. So hopefully this match against Serena will prove that. But we'll find out at the anniversary show. But then, we get the, originator of the term clam digger doing
the
this promo.
Clam digger.
Tony Schiavone.
Crying Brian.
Crying, bro. Adolfo, I'll let you talk because I don't want to overstep boundaries here. Like, you are leading this discussion.
No, go ahead.
Okay, when I tell you, Tony Schiavone, you almost caught these hands twice in 1 week. Like, first of all, you almost caught these hands, bro. I haven't, but this was crazy to me. We've seen Tony pick sides to wrestlers before, but this one felt personal to me. Nigel McGuinness is about that life, though. He a gangster for real. He's like, if you don't sit your ass down, you about to catch these hands. And then Tony walked away. I love me some Bryan Danielson, Bryan. I love him to death. But when I tell you, by the end of this, Adolfo and Alice, I'm kind of rooting for Nigel here. Yes. I don't know why. I know it's not going to happen. But this man cut a hell of a promo. And the ending words made me choke up a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, this actually is going to be so good. If there is a God, this match is going to happen. But if not, I hope the devil hears my prayers. I'm like, oh my God, it is literally do or die for Nigel here. And he doesn't even have a championship. He's not the champion. But I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh my God, Nigel has more to lose than Danielson does. Yes, Danielson could lose the championship. But Nigel building into this feud the last 2-3 weeks has made me believe that he has nothing left to lose, which is everything to lose, if that makes any sense. Literally. And in the when we tie it back to what we saw in Dynamite too, Nigel paints this picture that he was the blueprint, but Danielson was the golden child of ROH. And so Danielson always overshadowed Nigel, and Nigel in this promo admitted that he was jealous. He was angry because technical wise, he has beaten Brian more and he's done more in his career. But Danielson is the golden child of wrestling, and Nigel McGuinness sees himself as the black sheep. I know he's not going to win this championship, but damn it, if I'm not rooting for Nigel to walk out here, shoot, I really hope this match delivers. I wanted to deliver so much because then I'm it may not have been the most technical wise, but honestly, this is probably my favorite feud, and we've only gotten this for 3 weeks because there are stakes to this. Nigel McGuinness has his legacy on the line, and he has everything to lose here. His credibility, his name. If he loses to Danielson, he feels that it's all over for him and his legacy goes down the toilet. And I'm kind of here for these intangible stakes here. Oh my God, this promo made me super excited for this match. And honestly, this is probably the most anticipated match I'm looking forward to Grand Slam this week. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me.
I honestly think I'm gonna take Nigel McGuinness.
Oh man,
I don't know. He has made me a believer.
I'm going to stick with what I said last time, which is a draw.
Yo, a draw would probably be the best thing for both of them because Danielson keeps his championship, but Nigel doesn't lose anything either.
Right.
And we keep his legacy intact, which is crazy to say that this man's ego is worth more than this championship.
And if you were looking on the Instagram, they were talking about their history, the Bryan Danielson and Nigel McGuinness. One of the only times that they faced, it was a draw.
Another draw would be crazy. And AEW is not afraid to do time limit draws either, which is really nice. In fact, they're one of the only companies outside of TNA that will have you do time limit draws. I'm excited. Well, I mean, since we're already on it,
I was about to say there's a good
leeway segue.
What we got going on.
Yeah, so we are officially done with this, this week in AEW, but now, which is perfect that this review is on Tuesdays because now we are on the cusp because Grand Slam Dynamite and Grand Slam Collision are this week. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to talk about the matches and our thoughts about them, like who we think is going to win. Not necessarily predictions, but there's a lot going down. So let's start with what has been confirmed for Grand Slam Dynamite, which is tomorrow. It's crazy. So I will be watching it at live, and then I will be giving my report to El Buntador tomorrow during CMLL before our show. So he gets all El Buntador gets all the tea from AEW first before anybody else. It's kind of crazy.
Yes.
But it's fun. So on Grand Slam Dynamite, which is tomorrow, we have for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, we have the Young Bucks taking on the team of Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay. Again, we talked about it during Dynamite. I love Will to death, but I feel like he is being wasted as a tag team person, and this makeshift tag team has no chance of dethroning the Bucks. Now, if we get an attack on Will, which makes Kyle have to go 1-on-2 for Mark Davis to return, and we get Aussie Open reunited to win, I'm kind of here for this. But other than that, no way the Bucks are losing here. I don't think the Bucks are losing.
No. I mean, the reason why I'm invested in this is because I enjoy Kyle Fletcher. I enjoy Will Ospreay. I know that the Bucks have a good work ethic in the ring. Other than that, I don't. Yeah.
Don't care. Bucks are gonna win.
Yeah, Bucks will win.
Next.
So this match is also a foregone conclusion, but I still think it might has the potential to be really fun if they give them time. But this is for the AEW Women's World Championship, where the Glamour, Mariah May, is defending her title against Yuka Sakazaki.
Yep.
Again, I think Mariah's retaining here, but I'm hoping, because both of these girls are Stardom girls, give me that Joshi Japanese style of wrestling for like 15 minutes, and then I can die happy. Like, let these girls go. Don't give them 8 minutes, Tony Khan. Give them like 12, 13, push it to 15. Give them the double digits times, because I think Yuka and Mariah have good chemistry together, and just let them go out there with that Joshi style wrestling. But I have Mariah retaining her championship here.
Yep. However, I do feel that Mina Shirakawa
that's what I was thinking.
Mina is either going to show up afterwards or find herself involved in this in some capacity towards the end.
Yes. I think Mariah's going to retain, and that Mina's going to show up at some point.
I think Mariah beats up Yuka afterwards, and Mina comes in and steps between her and Yuka, because Yuka and Mina have some history too.
Right.
So, which then sets us on the path for Mina and Mariah, which I would be so ready for. So good. So next up, for the FTW Championship in an FTW rules match, we have Hook defending his title against Roderick Strong. I'm going to be honest, you guys. I think Roderick wins this one. I think Roddy takes the title because he has the Undisputed Kingdom, and we have not seen Joe or Shibata come to the defense of Hook the last couple of weeks. Also, shout out to Samoa Joe. He's about to be a whole entire character in the DLC for the Yakuza game series. I saw a screenshot. He looks so good. Rendered and everything is going to be so good. Samoa Joe is just living life right now. He is sweet too. He's in video games. Like, this man is living the dream. But yeah, I think I'm going to pick Roddy to win this one. I think because the Undisputed Kingdom is going to probably involve themselves here. Unless Shibata and Joe come in to even the odds, I'm going to pick Roddy for this one.
In the time that I have been watching AEW, and I've seen Hook defend, lose, win the FTW belt, which hasn't been that many, I believe that Roddy Strong is the best wrestler that he has gone up against. So I feel that it would be an injustice if Roddy didn't walk out with the FTW belt.
Right. And again, I think the numbers advantage comes to help Roddy win this thing. I could be wrong, because Shibata and Joe could make a reappearance, but until we see that, I'm going to stick with Roddy to winning.
Right, but I honestly think that Roddy can just out wrestle. He's not going to need Taven and Bennett, because he can just out wrestle Hook.
That's another thing too, which I'd be here for as well.
You know, and I feel that if they put the FTW belt on Roddy Strong, that'll actually start giving it a little bit more gravitas, even though it's not a officially sanctioned belt or whatever. You know,
At least it will be someone that is not Hook or Jericho.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Alice, who do you got for this one, Roddy or Hook?
I don't like either of them. Part of me feels like Hook hasn't had the belt long enough for it to change hands, but I don't want him to keep it. So I think I'm gonna go with Roddy Strong also. I don't know. I like Roddy Strong so much more on commentary than I do in the ring.
He's literally just like wrestling dad on commentary, and I love it.
Yeah.
The mustache and the glasses, man. He's just like one, well, howdy do neighbor, Ned Flanderino, like a one away.
And, and maybe he'll surprise me, like maybe with the FTW belt and those types of matches, like he'll be more interesting. I just don't find him super engaging when he's in the ring.
Right.
But maybe because the FTW championships lets you use all the fun stuff, if you will, maybe that will feel better in his hands. So I'll say him.
Cool. So what should be the main event in my eyes is probably not going to be the main event, but we have Bryan Danielson Bryan defending his championship if he's cleared against Nigel McGuinness. Spoiler alert. I feel like if he's not, he needs to be cleared. Otherwise, I'm going to be so mad.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I don't think this is main eventing, but I love Nigel. I don't want either one of them to lose, so I'm going to go with my heart on this one. I'm going to pick a time limit draw. So we go to a time limit draw between these two.
Time limit
I
draw?
don't want either one of them to lose, and I don't care if I'm wrong, internet. I'm going to go with a time limit draw on this one. Because you keep Danielson as champion, but you also keep Nigel's legacy intact, and then they can find a weird mutual respect for each other at the end of this.
That's what I think. Yeah, that's what I was thinking last time. I think it was last week I said that. But yeah, I think that's the best move for both of them, right? Because like the same reasons you just said. And the reason I thought of it to begin with is because I thought it was a more compelling story, right? To have them go to a draw. And even more now, like with that, seeing that on Instagram, I'm like, oh, look, history repeats itself. You have a time limit draw. Like you guys are kind of like equal wrestlers. You can shake hands and like look each other in the eye with a newfound respect for each other. Like, I think that would be the best, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. So then we move on to probably what is main eventing. Grand Slam Dynamite.
Did you say?
Oh no, that's right. Adolfo, who do you
Nigel
got?
McGuinness. I said earlier.
Oh, okay, cool.
I want Nigel.
I want this match to deliver. I really hope it delivers. Like maybe not in ring, but like storytelling wise, I think this could be the best short term story we've gotten this year for AEW, and I'd be here for it.
Yep.
So then we get into our main event, probably, in which this is for Darby Allin's AEW World Championship opportunity, where they've added the caveat that the winner of this match will go on to Wrestle Dream in October in a couple of weeks to face Danielson for the AEW World Championship. And this is Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin. This one hurts me because I want Darby to win. I want Darby to be the one to retire Danielson, because I want AEW to actually listen to Danielson for what he wants in his retirement, like they listened to Sting on how Sting wanted to retire. And they did just that. I want to pick Darby, but I have this sneaking suspicion that they're going to have Mox be the one to face Danielson at Wrestle Dream, and nobody wants to see that. I don't want to pick Moxley, but I'm going to pick Moxley. I think you know what? Screw it. No, I'm going with Darby. I don't care. I'm going against the grain. I love Darby too much. And I think Darby has earned his shot by winning the Royal Rampage months ago. And I think I want Darby to have an opportunity to be a champion. I think it's time for him to finally be given a world title run, even if it's short. I'm going to go with Darby on this one. I can't root against my man. Like, Darby is my dude, and I'm not going to root against him. So I'm picking Darby. I'm probably going to be disappointed when he loses, but I got to go with my man Darby here. I'm picking with my heart on this one.
Darby.
I'll go with Mox. I don't think they're going to have him lose on his first fight back.
That's also very fair. Man,
that's the only reason.
See, I wouldn't be mad if this was just like a regular number one contenders match, but the fact that Darby earned his shot by eliminating pretty much every other superstar in that Royal Rampage a couple months ago, and then for the possibility of it being taken away from him is not great. Now, what would be crazy if Darby wins because the Dark Order come out to even the odds?
That would be cool.
That'd be crazy. Be like, Evil Uno's like, you know what? You remind me of Brody Lee and what you stood for, because Darby has gone on record saying that Brody Lee is an inspiration. And I see a little bit of what Darby and Brody Lee says when it comes to professional wrestling and how they feel about it. So that'd be crazy. But yeah, I'm going with Darby. I wish it was a regular number one contenders match, but we'll see what happens with all of this. So then we get into Grand Slam Collision, which has all the freaking crazy matches. So starting with our lumberjack strap match, we have Hangman Adam Page taking on Jeff Jarrett, Double J out here in squad plus everybody. I'm gonna be honest, like, I cannot believe that Jeff Jarrett is rooting for the people, and I'm rooting for him so hard. But I gotta go with Hangman on this one. You can't have Hangman beat up Swerve in the way that he did at All Out for him to lose to Jeff Jarrett in a lumberjack strap match. And I think what's going to happen is I think we're going to see Hangman lose his absolute gourd and beat the piss out of Jeff Jarrett, which is kind of what I'm here for. I want to see an angry Hangman. I think that's fun. But I'm picking Hangman to win this one.
Hangman, yeah.
I got Double J.
I hope this is entertaining because me and Adolfo and the Professor are one of the few that liked the, Texas Chainsaw Massacre match that happened.
Yep.
Oh God, it was so bad, but it was so good. So next, probably in the silliest match, we have Jamie Hayter versus Saraya in the Saraya's Rules match, where basically Saraya can do anything and everything, and Jamie has to follow the rules to win. I love Saraya to death, but I got Miss Hayter. I'm a hater nation here. I'm picking Jamie Hayter to win this one. You can't have her lose after just coming back like this. So I'm going to go with Jamie Hayter to win. And I also think Hikaru Shida finds her way somehow involved in this.
Yes.
Ooh, yes.
Yep.
So I got Hayter.
I'm drinking that Haterade.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with Saraya disqualifies herself somehow.
That'd be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Oh, you're Agent of Chaos. I love you. So next, we have an AEW Continental Championship Eliminator match. So this is not for the championship, but for a chance. And there's an interesting stipulation that AEW decided to put on this. So this is going to be Kazuchika Okada, our Continental Champion, taking on Sammy Guevara. So the stipulation is that if Sammy loses this match, he can no longer challenge Okada for the title so long as Okada is the champion. However, if Sammy wins, he gets a title match at Dynamite's 5th anniversary show. Unless we get Takeshita coming up soon, I think I see Sammy winning this one. I think Sammy goes on to face Okada for that title on Title Tuesday, but is unsuccessful. So I'm going with Sammy on this one.
Yeah, that's an oddly specific stipulation.
Right.
So for this one, I'm going to go with Sammy because, again, it's just the chance to wrestle for the championship. So.
I'm gonna go with Okada. Yeah. Because a lot of the time when they're like, oh, it's an eliminator match, they always lose.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I think the match is still going to be fantastic, though, because I think Sammy's
without
great.
A doubt.
Okada is great. So so we'll see what happens. But next we have the conglomerate. So I'm hoping this is what ends this feud. We have the conglomeration, which is Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, and Orange Cassidy taking on the Learning Tree in a Tornado Trios match. So no tags, anybody can be in. It's just absolute madness and chaos. I'm hoping this is the end of it. I'm going to pick Conglomeration out of sheer spite because I absolutely cannot stand Jericho. So I'm going with Conglomeration to win this one.
Yep.
And let this be the end of it.
Yup.
Cool. We all agreed there.
Yep.
Next, on paper, this match should slap. I hope give them like 15, 20 minutes. But we just have a regular triple threat match just because we can. Beast Mortos versus Hologram versus Dralistico. God, this match needs to slap. I'm pretty sure it will.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is because this is a triple threat, you can technically have Hologram lose, not get pinned, but you can have him lose here. But I still think Hologram picks out the victory here. But because it's a triple threat, you can have Mortos pin Dralistico, and technically Hologram loses, but he's not the one to get pinned.
That's right.
Between the two, I love Hologram, but I'm gonna go with our attorney at law.
Yes, Frank Mortos, attorney at law. Roar, grumble, roar.
I'm gonna go with Frank Mortos here.
I want a win for Beast so bad.
I do too. I'm gonna go with Beast Mortos on this one. Yeah. I think in this kind of scenario, I think Hologram can lose but not get pinned. So technically, it wouldn't count against him. So. Here's hoping. I'm putting it out there, wrestling gods. Let our attorney at law win.
Yes.
So then the more interesting thing is next. The final thing that is officially scheduled for Grand Slam Collision is Jack Perry will be defending his TNT Championship in an open challenge. So obviously we do not know who is going to come out. So I have a theory. If it is anybody except for the person I'm about to mention, I'm going to pick Jack Perry. But if it's the person I'm about to mention, I think that person's going to take it off of Jack Perry, maybe. The person I am talking to is, I think the person who opens Jack Perry's open challenge is Mr. Absolute Ricky Starks. I think this is where we see the return of Ricky Starks. Ooh. And I think, I see Ricky beating Jack Perry here. So if it's Ricky, I'm pick Ricky. If it's anybody else, I'm going with Jack Perry, but I'm going to stick to my gut. I think it's Ricky Starks, and I'm going to go with Ricky Starks on this one.
Do you have any evidence that Ricky Starks?
The only real evidence I have, and take it with a grain of salt, is that Ricky Starks has been tweeting a lot recently on his social medias, and how he's taking lots of shirtless selfies, and he's actually in really good shape. And he's like, "All right, I'm ready to come back and win this time." And so I'm like, and he's been saying that for like the last 2 weeks. So I'm like, Okay. I would love, again, this is just pure speculation. You know how wrestlers like to throw us off the trails in their social media tweets. But if it is absolute Ricky Starks, I pick Ricky. But if it's anyone else, I'm picking Jack Perry. So I feel like we can do both. We can pick. So either or.
The reason I just asked is because again, this is just scuttlebutt. This is nothing official, but Ricky Starks was kind of coasting until his contract was up so that he could go to WWE.
Right. And again, we don't know the validity of all that. I would love to see Ricky in WWE, but who knows? Maybe something changed his mind where he's like, maybe I'll finish out with AEW. We'll see what happens. I just want a good run for Ricky. That's all I'm asking for, because I think he's too good of a wrestler to waste his talent. And he's been kind of wasted the last couple of times. So we'll see what happens with all that. But I got Jack Perry retaining, but if it is Ricky Starks, I'm picking Ricky.
Yeah, I have Jack Perry retaining.
Yeah.
So the only match
he's not doing it for me, but like the crowd he seems to be really over with the crowd. So
the crowd is getting behind the scapegoat. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to take the belt from him yet, I don't think.
So who knows? We don't know who's going to enter. It could be Ricky Starks. It could be somebody debuting. It could be someone returning. Who knows at this point? But the only match that's not scheduled for either day yet is this open challenge for the AEW World Trios Championship. So this is Pac and what's remnants of the BCC. So Wheeler and Claudio taking on whoever has the open challenge. It doesn't matter which. Now, unless it is House of Black. Unless it is House of Black. Because everyone wants a piece of the House of Black for some reason. I think
and
that...
What if it is House of Black and then Wheeler Yuta helps the House of Black beat them?
Yes!
Yeah.
I just want to see our boys of House of Black win those trios championships back because I feel like it was gone too soon for them. But I think, again, it's the same situation as Jack Perry. If it is anybody else, I pick the Team Gaslight and Wheeler Yuta winning. But if it is House of Black, I don't care if they have not a great track record. I'm picking my boys of the House of Black to win.
Yep.
I don't think that the news, if you will, for this match is who comes out to answer the call. I think that the big thing that's going to make news is what happens between Wheeler Yuta, Claudio, and Pac and Mox.
Yeah, that's probably the big thing, which sucks.
Yeah, so but that's that.
Yeah. I'm mad that House of Black is nowhere on this Grand Slam card. Like, what? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Everyone wanted a piece of House of Black, but apparently Tony Khan does not feel the same way. But that is it for this week's, All Elite Ensemble review. So when we come back next Tuesday, we will be covering Grand Slam Dynamite, a Rampage, Grand Slam Collision. And then we will be but next week we will be 2 weeks away from Wrestle Dream. Holy crap, we are almost here to another pay-per-view. 2 weeks until the AEW pay-per-view. The only reason, not 2 weeks. No, 2 weeks, yeah. Next week will be 2 weeks because next week is Bad Blood for WWE, and then the following week is Wrestle Dream. My gosh, we're back in pay-per-view season.
What a short break.
Right?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? It was a nice breather. But now until the end of the year, we have pretty much a pay-per-view a week leading into December. So this is wild. But that's going to be it for us here. From myself, Adolfo, Alice, our other co-host, Professor JVL, and the rest of the BC WrestlePod family. Remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We'll catch you next week for, our review of Grand Slam week. But until then, sayonara, adios, and Billy Stark's outro. Bleh.